So we added 28 feet of distance to this player's hits in just 14 days. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly what we did that allowed him to start driving the baseball to the outfield more consistently. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'm former MLB player Jermaine Curtis, and I help players add 20 to 40 feet of distance to their hits so they're able to start hitting those doubles and hitting those extra base hits and eventually hitting those home runs. And if you would like to add power to your game, I'll put a link below. You can schedule time with me and my team, and we'll look over your swing and see what's holding you back from driving the baseball. Now, before we get started, I will say that this is a follow-up video from the first video we made, which was how we added 14 feet of distance to his hits in 7 days. I'll put that video below if you're interested in watching that too. Now, I want to show you the before and after. So here is the first video he sent me with his dad. Okay, and you can see his swing path. Let me go back and show you again. He has a good solid foundation. Okay, and you can see here there's a difference, right? Now, there was a few things that he was doing in his swing that was slowing his swing down, which was not allowing him to drive the baseball to the outfield. He made a lot of contact, but couldn't drive the baseball as well as I know he can. He's a hardworking kid. The kid loves the game and he wants to hit home runs and stand out and drive the baseball, but there was a few things in his mechanics that was slowing him down. And so I'm going to walk you through that. Now, you'll see here on the left-hand side, you can see he has a really good foundation, right? He has a good batting stance, solid stance, but you'll see here as his hands start to go to the baseball, and there, you don't really see much of a load, right? It's just hands in the same spot, and then he just pushes right to the baseball, okay? And then the other thing you'll see here is when he starts to swing, you'll see how he turns, but he doesn't release the barrel. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But he's just turning, but there's no release of the barrel, right? And then you'll see here as he hit the baseball, you can see how he kind of top spin through the baseball, right? But he does have a good high finish. So he has a very solid foundation. And, there's a few things that we changed that is allowing him to get more backspin and hit those line drives and drive the baseball to the outfield more. And I'm going to walk you through that. So if you follow on my channel, there is a swing path that I believe in, right? And I'll tell you a little background by it, but it's called the C.A.T.C.H. Okay. And so back in 2007, I was playing at UCLA. I met Barry Bonds, and Barry Bonds took me under his wing and started teaching me some drills, his mindset, what he was thinking, and it changed my game, right? And he did the catch drill with me, which I'll put a link below if you're interested in learning that drill. And that was basically the foundation of, my philosophy on hitting. Now, after over the years of me learning baseball and getting to the major leagues, I've learned so many different methods, and I've kind of basically made this my own. So it's taken what he kind of taught me and then made it my own, and this is the catch swing framework. Now, the first step, going back to this on the left hand side, is charging up, or essentially the load. And you'll see here as he starts to swing, his hands are in the same spot and there's no like load, right? You wouldn't punch someone by just going like this, right? You would load up and then you would explode through. And it's the same thing with hitting. We want to load up, right? We want to basically get the largest impact we can upon the baseball. And if our hands are just here and then we just go straight to the baseball, we're not getting as much impact into the baseball that we can. So that's the first thing that I always recommend, is charging up, essentially loading. And you'll see here on the right hand side, you'll see here he pretty much has the same batting stand, but you'll see how he starts to load, right? You'll see that back elbow starts to wing flap, right? That knob starts pointing to the catcher, and you'll see just, a little bit of load. It doesn't have to be too aggressive, but you can see that knob. And if you see my video, how to hit your first or next home run, I talk about making the knob smile, right? You see the knob right here, and it goes like this. It just smiles, right? If you put some eyes right there, you'll get a smile, right? And we want that. That's just a little load just to get us ready to explode through the baseball. So that's the first thing. Second thing is aligning the knob. I'll put this right here. Second thing is aligning the knob. He does a really good job of this right here. And what I mean about aligning the knob is if this was the train tracks right here and the knob of the bat was a train, you can see how he puts the knob on the train tracks right here, right? And that's what we want, because we need to get inside of our body first before we can get inside the baseball. Everyone talks about getting inside the baseball, but a lot of kids get around their body first and they can't get inside the baseball. So we want to get inside the baseball first. And you can see how he pulls his hands tight to his body right there. And you'll see it here as well as he starts to turn the knob and get it on that train tracks. Okay. Now, the next thing that we want to focus on is taking the top hand to the baseball, or training the top hand to work towards the baseball. And this was essentially what Barry Bonds was teaching me. He taught me the catch drill, which is to take the top hand to the baseball. And you'll see it in his philosophy when he does the interviews. He talks about what's the difference between a pitcher and a hitter, right? Or a person that has a glove on and a hitter. And he asked me this question when I first met him, and I was confused because I had never heard anybody say that. He said, you're doing the same thing essentially. You're catching the baseball on the barrel. It's the same as if you put a glove on your hand. So what we did was we put a glove on our hand and he would throw me the baseball and I'll catch it with my top hand. But it does a lot of good things for you as a hitter, because you start watching the baseball all the way in, right? You're tracking it, you're not moving too much, and you're training the barrel, the top hand. You're training the top hand to go to the baseball, and the top hand controls the barrel of the bat. So you can see here in his swing, as he starts to swing, you can see here, he's not guiding the barrel to the baseball. He's just spinning, 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 and not releasing the barrel. That's what I want to say. He's not releasing the barrel, right? He's just spinning. So spin, spin, spin. See how the barrel is just turning, turning, turning with the body. And so this was slowing down his bat speed, is slowing down his power. And that's the reason, another reason why he wasn't driving the baseball as well as he could. But you'll see on this side, you can see how he takes this right hand. Let me back it up. So you can see here, look how that right hand just goes right to the baseball. Okay. You see how now he's in the zone for much longer, right? And it's almost like he just catches it with his right hand, right? So you're releasing the barrel, right? We want to drive the baseball. We want to make a big impact. And if we do this on the left-hand side, where we're just spinning and we're not releasing the barrel, we're not going to get as big an impact into the ball. On the right-hand side over here, you can see how that barrel returns, and then he takes the top hand to that baseball and he releases the barrel, right? And that gets a harder impact, higher exit velocities, farther hit, right? So that's basically what we did with the top hand. Okay. And then C, continuing through it. So you'll see here as he starts to swing, he does continue through it, but you can see how he also top spin this ball. And I'm going to talk about it in a second, but you'll see here how he continues through that ball, right? Let me show you again, slow it down. See how it continues through, right? So there is a thing I always tell my hitters, right? Think about, I don't know why it's making lines and dots on the screen, but think about this right here, okay? Think about a wall is right here, okay? And I'll put this wall right here as well. And I know it's a bad looking wall. You know, it's like a Photoshop wall. Um, but you'll see here, as he's turning the barrel, right? You can see how he kind of goes up and he scrapes the wall. This is what I call a scrape, right? If the wall was right here, okay, he scraped this wall. And then you'll see here, as he hits the baseball, he goes right through it. So let me show you. See how he breaks the wall. So what we want to do is we want to break the wall. We don't want to scrape it. And right here, he's scraping it. And this one, he's breaking through it. And all those players out there, or actually parents as well, they always come to me and say, hey, I'm not getting backspin on my balls. I'm not driving it. And the issue is that it's not their swing. I mean, I guess it is their swing path, but they tell me about their swinging down to create backspin and all that. And what we want is direction, and we want our direction to keep going slightly through the baseball as opposed to going upwards or down through it, right? Creating backspin is the direction that you have through the baseball. If you can get through the baseball, you'll start creating more backspin if your direction is right through the pitcher, right? You'll really start driving the baseball and getting those doubles, and getting more carry on your baseballs. Right here, this isn't where you get most of your carries. This is how you top spin balls. But if you hit it right, you can get some carry, but you have to be perfect. Right here, if you just get to the baseball and get through it right, you'll start hitting more line drives. Okay. Now the last one is H, is a high finish. And you'll see here as he starts to finish this, and let me move this out of the way. You'll see here, he has a high finish. Good, good. And then you'll see the same thing here, high finish. So this right here essentially allowed him to start hitting the baseball with more authority, hitting more line drives, hitting it more to the outfield. His dad said that he's driving the baseball and has more confidence because of it. And it also started to increase his exit velocity. As you can see right here, when we first started, it was at 43, and this is his PR right now at 49. But you can see that he's starting to drive the baseball a little bit more, right? He's starting to hit with a little bit more authority, and that's going to pay off in the long run. Okay. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you would like results like this, I'll put a link below. You can schedule a time with me and my team. We'll look over your swing and we'll see what's missing in your swing that's not allowing you to get results like this, where you can start driving the baseball for extra base hits. With that being said, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.